Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm creating another Christmas card. This time I'm using the cool cats from My Favorite Things, as well as the A2 layers die from Waffle flowers, and I'm using a sentiment from the Petite holiday wishes from My Favorite Things. I started by stamping out these three cats, and I am using the dark chocolate Gina Designs Amalgam ink. I wanted to have a really soft kind of idea, and whenever you are actually changing up that black ink that we often use, then it already gives a softer vibe to your images, so that's why I have this dark chocolate ink. I love the Gina Designs Amalgam ink. It's one that works for both markers and watercoloring, so that's why I prefer using this. This way I cannot mix up my inks whenever I use a certain medium. Now I didn't prep these stamps, so I am stamping it a few times to get that gorgeous outline, and then I will start coloring with my Copic markers. Now for today's kittens I did it a bit back as well. I'm using actually not a lot of markers. This one is going to be my mid-tone kitten, and in all of my combinations I will reuse markers that I already used on one of the other cats. This is really fun. It's also a cheap way to have several Copic combinations just by changing up one or two markers depending on whether you want to go lighter or darker. And I think whenever you are building up your marker collection, that it's really handy to have some of these combinations in your wish list, just to have many ways to use those markers, not just one combination out of them. So here is going to be my lightest kitten, and the two darkest colors are actually the two lightest colors from the previous one, which is what I mean. But if you want to revisit the combinations that I used today, definitely check out my blog post, because there I have listed it for each of the cats. And then of course the red combination will be the same on all of them. So this is really simple coloring, limited amount of markers, and a lot of repetition, all to get a really simple card. Also the coloring here, I am going from darkest to lightest, but there are many ways to color with your alcohol markers, so definitely do whatever you feel comfortable with and what gives you that end result that you really like, because that's the most important thing about all of this. So this one is my darkest kitten, and actually the two lightest markers are the two darkest markers from my medium cat. So that's really fun. Again, repetition in the markers used, but completely different brown combinations. Also, that's why I went for the dark chocolate ink. Whenever I would have done this with gray cats, then I would maybe have used gray ink if I had that. So just use whatever you might end up with from markers or other mediums. That also helps. And then here, as I said, the red combination. It's a really simple one. Also doing some flicking here to help me with the blend. Whenever you are having difficulties with getting the blend that you want, I suggest doing a bit of flicking if you can on the image or the part of the image that you want to color. It always helps me. Whenever I use flicking for the coloring, then I have a really quick blend that I need. And once I'm happy with the coloring, I'm using the matching dies to cut these cats out. I'm keeping my dies in place with some purple tape, and then I will roll through my scissors. So for the background now, really simple. I'm using my favorite pattern paper. You know it, we all know it. I am addicted to this paper. This one is a Petite Gingham from My Favorite Things, and there are many colors that you can use to get that background that you want. I went for blue today, but again, I think every color would have worked. Maybe the yellow is a bit strange because it's really light, but you do you. And then I trimmed down a panel using the A2 layers die from Waffle Flowers. This one is the fourth biggest rectangle from the die set. I wanted to have a white border all around, and so this was what I came up with. I also cut out the biggest one from white paper to help me, and then I'm going to just add these kittens right next to each other, really simple. And then I took one of the bigger or longer sentiments from the Bitty Holiday Wishes. I'm first going to stamp that out, and then I will add all of the cats using some thin foam squares. I'm using the same ink, this brown one. I must admit, on the pattern paper it looks a bit black, but I don't mind. I know that it's the same ink, but it's dark enough to stamp out my sentiment, so that's why I went for that. And once I added thin foam squares everywhere on the back of my cats, I adhered them sort of in the middle of my panel here. And I try to also have them on the same height. This pattern paper helps me with that because, let's be honest, these are squares and they are straight, and so really handy. And then I also try to have my third one sort of the same spacing in between the cats as well as the outside of my panel. And then I could add this to my other A2 sized die cut rectangle over there. Therefore I'm using some foam tape. This one is from Scotch. But first I added my panel on top of my card base using some adhesive ruler. So really simple, adding it as straight as possible. And then the other one. I'm also covering this panel as much as possible with my foam tape. You already know why. It's just to go through mailing without all the creasing and stuff, because too much effort again to get ruined just by posting it. So that's that, and then I'm going to embellish my card. I'm going to add some glossy accents on the glasses. I'm going to add some stickles onto the white areas of the hats, and that is going to be it. If you want to, you can add embellishments to this card, but I really love this pattern paper. I just wanted to leave it like this. But you do you add anything you want. And as you can see, a really simple but cute card just for Christmas, using these adorable cool cats from my favorite things. I love this one. You will definitely see other cards with this stamp set. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course that you like the end result. If you have any questions, you can reach me down in the comments. I want to thank you all for taking the time to stop by on my YouTube channel. I hope that you have a great day, and I'll be back soon. Bye!